We love food colored green, bell peppers and long string beans, pickles, celery, cucumbers too. All these foods are good for you.
Welcome to Storytime Cooks, where we learn about food through books. Today we're going to be reading It's a Small World, Shapes, and this book is by Kevin Lively. There are so many different shapes in our homes, and in our kitchen is a perfect place to talk about those shapes with your children and think about the different shapes you might be eating or eating off of. A shape with 4 equal sides is called a square. No other shape has its flair. And you can see a picture of a red square. What is something that's square that you might have at your house? I thought of a few different things. I thought of a piece of bread. I thought about a saltine cracker. There's lots of different shapes that are square. See if you can find some square things. On a triangle, how many sides do you see? It rings true that there are only 1, 2, 3. And we have a purple triangle. And we could easily cut that square into half and make it on the diagonal and turn it into a triangle. With 2 short sides and 2 long sides, a rectangle, trains are great for rides. And you can see we cut our bread into half and we turned the square into a rectangle. How many rectangles would you have if you cut this bread in half? That's right, there would be 2. And they would be the shape like this green rectangle. Oh, it's just so fun to count the dots on a giraffe's neck with oval spots. And you can see there's a gold oval. And I bet that that giraffe has 1, 2, this one has 1, 2, 3. So there would be 5 ovals in this picture. In the cave, what do I see? Circle eyes looking back at me, and you can see there are 2 green eyes to match this green circle. And we have lots of circle foods. When I started thinking about circle foods, I thought about apples and peaches and cuties, and you could talk about the different sizes, which one's the largest, which one's the smallest. Or you could even use a cookie cutter and cut that bread or a piece of cheese into a circle. There's nothing quite as nice as a semicircle made of ice. So when we have our circle, if we cut it in half, we would make 2 semicircles. And that's a good way to start thinking about counting and all kinds of math concepts. If diamond shapes are what you seek, look at the top of that mountain peak. And there's several diamonds in this picture. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pink diamonds. Those are beautiful. And that would be another thing that you could cut out of a square, like a piece of bread or a piece of cheese, to make a diamond. Look up there, way up high, beautiful stars shine in the sky. And a star cookie cutter might be another fun one to have that you could use to cut out all different kinds of things. You can even slice your fruit and cut those into shapes. Kiwis work really well with cookie cutters, pineapple slices. There are lots of different things that you can cut with cookie cutters, and they're a lot of fun. Glowing bright is a crescent moon. It reminds us of our favorite tune. And there's a beautiful purple crescent moon. It's a small world of shapes, after all. And there is a song called It's a Small World After All. And you can see in this picture there's children of all different backgrounds, different colors. They have on different clothes. And we really do live in a small world. And we're all really special and it's wonderful when we can all get along. Let's think about some more things that we could do with shapes. Today, we're going to be making peanut butter Play-Doh, and this is a recipe that my mom shared with me when I was a child. We used to call it camper's fudge sometimes, and it's a really easy one. It just has powdered dry milk, some honey, and some peanut butter. And remember, before we start cooking, it's always a good idea to wash our hands. Today, since I don't have a sink, when I get ready to touch the food, I'm going to put on some gloves, but we're hoping that we made things a little bit easier. And this might be something you would like to try at home. We've measured our ingredients, and we actually are only doing a half a recipe, and that might be enough for some of our smaller families. So we have 3/4 cup of powdered milk, a half a cup of creamy peanut butter, and 1.5 tablespoons of honey. And when we put this into the plastic bag, we can use that to mix. So we're just going to spread this around in the bag and mash it up. This is a great way that we can play with our food without getting so messy. And once we get this blended, then we're going to put it in a bowl. And it's something that you could cut with a rolling pin and cookie cutters. You could roll it smooth. You could make it into long ropes. If you rolled it, you could make it into balls. You could flatten those balls and turn those into circles. So the possibilities are endless. And the best thing about this is not only is it fun to play with, it's also good to eat. But remember, moderation is the key. We probably don't need to eat a lot of this at one time because it does have some ingredients that some of us might really like that honey and peanut butter. The powdered milk gives us a good source of calcium, so that's an added bonus. So we've about got this mixed up. We're going to dump it into our bowl and see what we have here. This is a lot easier than trying to stir it maybe with a spoon. If your Play-Doh is a little bit too thick, you can add some extra honey. If it's a little bit too thin, you can add a little bit more powdered milk. So you just get it to the consistency that you like it. And I'm going to put my glove on because I'm going to play with it for a minute. And yes, this is actually working really well. It's sticking together just fine, and it would be a fun thing to play with, as well as a delicious, nutritious treat. And here is, we'll make a ball for you to see. But I hope that you might have some fun playing with your food and enjoy some peanut butter Play-Doh, and come back and join us next week for another segment of Storytime Cooks.
We love food colored green, bell peppers and long string beans, pickles, celery, cucumbers too.